This segment of Labatt Buffalo Main Event is brought to you by
O Restaurant and Lounge, 3047 Sheridan Drive in Amherst. It's not just a place to eat, it's something to do.
Welcome back to Labatt Buffalo Main Event. It is now time for the O Restaurant and Lounge email segment. You can go to our website, win some great prizes. First of all, register for a Labatt hockey tournament coming up on the 26th of this month. And you can also send us an email, and if we use it, O Restaurant and Lounge will give you a $25 gift certificate. The first gift certificate goes out to Big Daddy in Cheektowaga, Brad, who wants to know, will the Sabres sign Brian Campbell next year, or will he leave just like Drury and Briere did?
By just like Drury and Briere, do you mean just like every single person who's ever become an unrestricted? Have they ever re-signed a guy after he became unrestricted? Maybe Hasek at some point was unrestricted and re-signed. He's gone. If something's not done in the next month or so, goodbye to Brian Campbell. And
who's going to be responsible for this? You can't lose Drury, Briere, and your best defenseman, and then say, "Oh well, it's just the sign of the times." Somebody's got to pay for it, and I don't care if it's Darcy Regier or if it's some whether Larry Quinn, Tom Golisano. Somebody's got to take blame for losing your three best players in a one-year period of time. Brian Campbell is by far their best defenseman, at least this year. And there's not even close to a second best defenseman. You're going to let that guy walk? You can't let that guy walk.
And that's what makes it possible to sign him. Because if you're thinking about Drury or Briere or even Vanek, there's always the whole slippery slope. What's going to happen? If we give this guy X number of dollars, what about a year from now when so-and-so comes?
Right.
There is no so-and-so. There's nobody coming up after Brian Campbell that is going to belong in the same category as him as far as defensemen. So $5 million a year makes sense in the NHL for a player like Brian Campbell. And the good news, if you're the Sabres, is there is nobody coming next that, oh, if you give Campbell 5, you got to give so-and-so 6. That's not happening. So it seems like a no-brainer, but so does the cheap way out for this Sabres team.
And you talk about the slippery slope. If Campbell goes, then you wonder, is Miller next? Right. Who's next? Where is it going to end? And they got it. They got to. But I have no.
But they're not going to. They've got to, and they're not gonna.
Come on.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying.
It is.
Stephen Clarence writes to us as well, saying of all the steroid/performance enhancement talk of the past couple of years, Marion Jones winds up with 6 months in prison. Does that make sense?
I'll tell you, yes, it does make sense because she did the one thing you can't do, and that is lie to the federal prosecutors. And I think it's a clear message sent to Roger Clemens. Well, Barry Bonds already lied, but I mean to Roger Clemens that you better not lie because we're gonna get you for this. And she cried and she said, I'm still nursing my child. And the judge said, I'm sorry, you're going for 6 months. I'm giving you the max of what I can give you. And that is, I think, the lesson. This goes back to Watergate. It's the lesson in life that nobody gets. It's not the crime, it's the cover-up that gets you. Yeah. And Nixon didn't get it, and Marion Jones didn't get it, and it doesn't look like Barry Bonds, and it doesn't look like Roger Clemens. None of these guys get it. It's okay if you come out and just say,
sorry.
Sorry, I did it. I'm sorry, I cheated. I did
person.
take steroids. Roger, I did use them, several times. It would be okay. But once you start lying to the feds, Martha Stewart, the list goes on and on that shows you that it's the cover-up and not the lie.
That's funny. It's funny because you look at baseball and the names that came out, there's so many of them. Right. The only ones that are really going to get any legitimate heat are the ones who show up in court and say, I didn't do it.
That's right.
And it turns out they did.
That's right. You can lie to anybody, but don't lie to the feds.
Lie to Mike Wallace all you want, Roger.
Yeah, don't lie to the feds. Thank you for your emails. And again, go to our website and click on the O Restaurant Lounge email and send us an email. Coming up next, it is Mark Gaughan from the Buffalo News to talk a little bit about the NFL and the Hall of Fame on Labatt Buffalo Main Event.
Whenever I get an opportunity to speak to a group of seniors, the first thing that I like to talk about is planning ahead. Whenever we have a conversation, I hear things like, well, I want to stay in my home forever, and that is wonderful. It's a great plan, it's a nice vision to have, and it's quite frankly probably possible. But there's always the possibility that it may not be. If you don't take an active role in planning now, you may not have the opportunity to participate when the time comes.
Bristol Home in Bristol Village. Assisted living where family matters.